All right.
All right. So much fun.
Always. You know it is. Never stop having fun around here.
Oh.
All right. So, welcome everybody. Crypto and Coffee. Sorry we're a little bit late today. It has been
a hell of a morning.
Crazy.
Most certainly is a day.
It's a day.
It's not even morning anymore. Can we even call it Crypto and Coffee?
It's still morning.
It's
technically. Gorgeous. I mean, yeah, it's still technically morning. All right, so you want to take us away? What have we been up to?
Well, part of it.
Oh well, I mean, first we have some news to talk about.
Sorry, yeah, let's talk about the news, people. Isn't that what we're supposed to be here for?
I mean, that is theoretically what we're doing. So, again, guys, sorry, we are a little bit frazzled this morning. We had some technical difficulties.
Okay, just so, yeah. Hold on.
And yeah, so...
Locked at my screens. More technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Okay, just so we can kind of... I'm going to send a request through my personal Crypto Goth account.
Okay.
And we're going to have a little bit of fun here because I want to show you guys this fantastic... We could not find some of our rigs.
All right, guys, for those who are looking at us over on Facebook, thank you also very much for joining us. Unfortunately, this part of the video may only show up over on our Instagram for now. Definitely go over and check that out there.
All right.
We've been having all kinds of fun today, trying to get through things,
okay.
And we have kind of started up a little bit of craziness.
Okay, since we couldn't, let me turn the volume down on my, there we go. Okay, so the funny part about this is we couldn't find the normal rig that we have for my phone or his phone to sit up on as a tripod. So Dre was kind enough to hook us up with a little bit of a ghetto system by scotch taping his phone onto the laptop.
Redneck fabulous, baby.
Redneck fabulous.
All right, so go ahead and cut that so we don't have dual audio. And yeah, so we're going to jump right into some news today. There's been quite a bit of very, very interesting stuff that's been going on in the crypto space.
Yes,
and so Crypto Goth, why don't you take us away? Well, what's the first thing on our news for the day? Hi there, Jess. Good to see you on here. Hey, Michael. Great to have you with us. Nice having you up here in chat and crypto with you, man. Michael is actually a previous member of KingRoyal, and back in our early days. So yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay, so Trump executive order banning a cryptocurrency could mutate into far-reaching law.
Yeah. So this
sounds so nefarious.
This is all kinds of fun. As we've seen, for a lot of people, as they know, the Petro was a cryptocurrency. It was actually one of the first real commodity style cryptos that came out way back. I think it started coming out in 2016, and it was a Venezuelan cryptocurrency. It was backed by their actual petro reserves, so they have some of the largest reserves of petroleum in the world. And, right off the bat, it was banned pretty much worldwide.
Right.
But we are seeing, that now there's kind of the initial just executive orders that banned these different currencies right off the bat, are starting to mutate. They're starting to, look more like far-reaching laws. We've seen them copied by multiple countries around the globe, as well as, now we're starting to see, kind of further-reaching consequences. So, Crypto Goth, why don't you go ahead and we have an article here that was released by Forbes the other day. We're going to go ahead and kind of cover, and then we're going to kind of have a little discussion about it. Hey there, Raymond, by the way.
Hi, Raymond. Okay, there are at least 20 bills related to blockchain in various stages of being considered by the United States Congress, but only one is of imminent, reading glasses would be fantastic, but that's okay. Potentially urgent concern to cryptocurrency users, according to Jason Brett, founder. Oh, why'd you move it? Hold on.
Sorry.
You're manipulating the words. Founder and CEO of the Value Technology Foundation.
Raymond's saying he can barely hear us. Yeah, give us just a minute, Derby, and we'll get that set up for you. We do apologize. As we were saying earlier, we've had some technical difficulties today that make it so that our normal microphone setup is kind of on the skids.
It's all about you, man.
We'll get it done. We'll get it done. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and try this again?
Okay, I'm not starting from the top. A newly formed research firm in Washington, D.C., dedicated to blockchain law, Senate Bill 1025, which could be approved as soon as Monday, will essentially make law and an executive order signed by U.S. President Donald Trump last year that banned U.S. citizens. Permanent residents and organizations from buying, holding, trading, spending petro, the cryptocurrency created by the Venezuelan government and purportedly, sorry, my eyes lose focus very quickly against screens. Backed by the nation's vast oil reserves. Since the petro was presented by Trump as a way for users to circumvent U.S. sanctions against Venezuela, which has been accused of crimes against humanity and whose central bank has experienced decades of inflation. Sorry. I'm old, people. Bear with me. The law has attracted 19 sponsors, including Republican Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, right?
Yep.
Okay. Want to make sure my eyes aren't blowing up too much. Democratic Senator Richard Durbin of Illinois, Republican Senator Ted Cruz of Texas, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, and Democratic Senator Kristen Gillibrand of New York. More than any of the 20 other blockchain bills being considered. Sorry.
Yeah.
I stumbled through my reading, people.
So bear with us, guys. But and so this is kind of far-reaching though for a couple of reasons. Is that this is a commodity-based cryptocurrency, and
right.
It's a way to be able to circumvent a lot of sanctions, as it is a completely decentralized system.
Right.
I don't necessarily agree with how the petro was created, since as many of you know, we've been working on a solution for commodity-based tokens for a while that will allow them to be conducted in a more trustless manner. That is not something that is in place with something like this Venezuelan petro. At the same time, what's dangerous about this is we're starting to see a lot of government entities, both here locally in the States as well as abroad, that are trying to mirror this exact executive order and turn it into more far-reaching laws that will be able to limit and or ban the possession or even the actual spending itself of various blockchain assets. And This is, unfortunately, they've made this cookie cutter bill in such a way that it can be easily applied to things like Bitcoin, things like Ethereum.
Right.
And they're doing it in such a way that there is no democratic process around it. It is essentially just veto signed into law.
Right. It's very cut dry, like a dick move.
Yeah. It really is. And, we're seeing this, we're now seeing, over 20 different laws, even just here locally in the U.S., that are essentially all versions of the same thing. We see, the one against Libra. We see the one against Walmart's token. We see, now with Binance and stablecoin it's coming out with, we're seeing, though they haven't actually signed that one yet, it's already been proposed.
Just wait.
And so it's almost they're creating a form solution to be able to instant ban anything that comes out that would be a way to be able to circumvent traditional government control. And this is a really big issue, and unfortunately it's an issue that really the people have very, very little in the way of a voice in. And so it's something that really needs to be, talked about a lot more, I think. And, looking forward, it's going to be one of the bigger issues we face. And at the same time, how much are they actually going to be able to do to actually block something like Bitcoin or Ethereum where there is no centralized control? With something like Libra, obviously it can be blocked for the fact that, you have a corporate office you can send that letter to, but who are you going to go to block
this
Bitcoin?
Kind of goes back into the discussion we were having earlier when it comes to when it comes to Sorry, when I talk to one person, I usually like to look them in the eyes, but
Look me in the eyes.
I know. Look them in the eyes over here. Hi, people. You exist. About revolutionizing, and it starts with being open and talking about it and being very public about it because, the one thing that they do have on us here, especially in the U.S., is the fact that we are good little sheeple that follow the rules because we fear everything. And yeah, I don't know. It's bullshit.
Yeah, it definitely is, and I think that you bring up a good point in the fact that there is a large aspect that, especially in a lot of well-developed nations,
Right.
you have almost this sense of duty to remain the good
norm
citizen,
and cookie
and
cutter, right.
But what we are seeing with these assets is that, in truth, these assets are revolutionary assets,
Right?
in the fact that they allow not necessarily to have control over. Face it, money is the root of all power. It is.
No, it is.
Money talks.
It does.
But
Unfortunately.
yeah, it is. But money does talk, and so then what we see, with things like Bitcoin, things like Ethereum, is we see that it is a way not to gain control over money, but a way to distribute control over money to the point where it isn't owned by anyone. And I've also noticed, in a lot of the talks that we've been having, even with the work that we're doing here at KingRoyal lately, is we've been seeing more and more and more that, in talking with traditional business people, the idea that you can have a system, be it just software, be it a financial system, anything that isn't owned by anyone, including the people who created it, despite the fact that they know Bitcoin, they claim to be proponents of the blockchain space or anything like that, they almost have this mental block where they refuse to be able to understand that a system could actually be divorced from a central control mechanism. And that's what we're seeing. This is something
Everything
that
has to be in the pretty little box.
Right. Well, and it's something where we've been seeing this more and more frequently with with the stablecoin, space that's been heating up because, back a year ago when KingRoyal first started kind of getting into stablecoin development, nobody was talking about it. And when we were originally talking to people about it, they were like, well, you're an idiot for getting into that kind of thing because there's no money in it.
Right. It's just pretend money.
Well,
I hear that all the time.
Exactly. It's one of two things. It's either it's always pretend money or it's, it's stable. So, there's, it's not the sexy, exciting thing.
Right.
But now that we're starting to have a few of the larger groups are getting into stable coins, what we're really starting to see, and I think this is very interesting, is we're actually starting to see that corporations are seen as this light bulb coming on. Mm-hmm. But and then we have on the other side, larger institutions, government institutions are getting freaked out by it.
Oh yeah. Well, of course they are.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're seeing that in large part because I believe that a lot of them, are starting to realize that the true power of blockchain isn't, necessarily, yes, I'm a huge proponent of decentralization. I think that's amazing. But the true power of blockchain isn't simply in decentralization. It's in the ability to be able to distribute both centralized and decentralized control mechanics to a wider audience. And yeah, it's really interesting. So, what do you kind of think about the way the governments are reacting to stablecoins and other, commodity-based assets like the petro and things of that nature?
It's fear of losing control, definitely.
Yeah.
Because, let's face it, if the U.S. was a little bit more like other countries, and it's sad because, we're this first world country, and yet you have places, third world countries, that when they talk about, they don't like a certain branch of their government. What do? Revolution. They tear him out of his little ivory castle, and or his little ivory tower, and they actually do something about it. Here, we're so afraid of everything being militarized and force being taken on us. This is a grasp of control that they feel that they're losing, and that's why they're trying to do this. Trying.
Yeah, it's definitely
you're only trying.
And I do think that you bring up something is that there is And that's why I think that this is so powerful, because this is more of it's not just a revolution against a certain nation or a certain dictator. This is a global revolutionary tactic because, I mean, global economy is, it's the root of everything that we do at this point. And so, I think that it's very important to look at the gravity of what we're building here. And
that's still really low quality.
Yeah, I'm not sure when we're back to such low quality here. We did have better. Thank you very much for pointing that out, Lydia. We are working on it. Unfortunately, our regular setup that we normally have is a little bit on the skits today, so we're working with what we've got.
Yeah, we have parts that are MIA and
right, and we rest assured though we will have it, back to flush here in the next couple of days.
I like the fact that she said the interwebs are not cooperating.
They really aren't, though. It's so bad.
Everything has gone so against us this morning.
Yeah, I mean, we've really been struggling this morning. We started trying to get this live stream going 3 hours ago.
No, this is a struggle. It's a real struggle.
Oh, yeah. But, yes, please, thank you guys very much for bearing with us. And also, let us know, what are your thoughts about, what's going on in this space? What do you think about the stand that we see governments right now taking against various, blockchains, and especially when it comes to commodities, which is very interesting because commodities, if you look back over the last 4 or 5 years, everybody's kind of said commodity tokens don't matter. They're nothing. They're just, they're kind of a side thing that is kind of going to be done by a couple of corporates and nobody's going to care about it.
Right.
And now suddenly we're seeing this narrative shift where, oh no.
They're blowing up.
Exactly. They're blowing up. And it's weird. It's like we see it's almost like a stablecoin arms race for a token that should have zero intrinsic change. And, a large portion of this because if you think about it, people, what's the biggest thing people always say? You said it earlier about, when they talk about crypto.
Right.
It's just
pretend money.
It's just pretend money. And then, yeah. It's actually coming along well. That's one part that everything's going well on right now.
We've been so busy on that we've neglected to keep an eye on our setups for this.
Right. So. Yeah, exactly. And that's things, we've been so going hardcore on the technical side, but back to just what I was saying there for a moment. Really we see this thing right now where, people are always saying, oh, cryptocurrency, it's just play money. Oh, it's just internet money. Oh, it doesn't have any real value. Oh, what can it be traded for? And I think that that's, something really big is that the reason why commodity tokens are starting to blow up so much now, the reason why suddenly everybody's looking at them both, with favor and malevolence right now is for the fact that, oh, wait, these are tokens that can be exchanged for physical value you can hold in your hand.
Right.
And you don't have to trust anybody.
Suddenly it can be useful.
And suddenly, now we're talking about essentially a weaponization of finance, really.
Yeah.
And that's big. That's really big.
That's sexy.
Yeah, that's very sexy.
You want to talk crypto? Talk nerdy to me.
Yeah. And then, so we do have one other thing that is just, it's so cringy, but we have to talk about it, right? Come on, we have to.
Okay. This is one of the reasons, and one of the first things I ever heard coming into this was just be careful who you talk to about this.
Right. Yeah, this is so...
Spouting off at the mouth. Let's talk about this guy in Norway.
Yeah, let's talk about this guy in Norway. So, typically, if you, let's say that you got a big wad of cash in your pocket, do you go around telling everybody about it?
What, that I'm Mr. Moneybags?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, exactly. Who does this?
No.
But instead, so we have this, a Bitcoin multimillionaire from Norway that he was online bragging all over social media and
people, this is stupid.
And even even was bragging about bars and whatnot that he was holding $11 million in Bitcoin and
bars
about how
is definitely not where you talk about it.
Right, exactly. And he's talking about this. Not only is he talking about it, but he's also talking about how much bigger it's going to get after the halvening and how much money he's going to make, and he's going to be a multi-billionaire.
Rookie move.
Yeah, that's not what you do.
No.
So he got a serious wake up call, where he had a
My
knock on
eyes
his.
cannot roll back hard enough.
I know. I'm having a hard time talking about it because of how much I'm cringy.
Yeah.
But
Would
so
you like some more coffee?
I would. Thank you.
Because I'm going to drink it all.
So yeah, he was in his home one night. He opens his door, and he gets knocked on the door. He opens his door, and there's a man there with a shotgun that's reportedly yelling, "Lie down or I'll shoot." And so the crypto millionaire in question, who's living on the second floor, by the way, apparently he wasted no time and immediately turned around and booked it and jumped off the balcony of his second floor apartment.
What would you do though with a shotgun in your face? And
I'm
kudos
for not seizing up. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Right? there's those who will curl up into a ball and cry on the floor, which is what a lot of people would do. And then there's that, fight or flight.
Right.
He chose flight.
He definitely chose flight.
Then you get stubborn people that fight.
What's really weird though is that the intruder though, who was actually caught, apparently he's actually refused to plead guilty. You got caught. Yeah, exactly. He got caught in the guy's house with a shotgun, but he's refusing to plead guilty.
I'll say it again, but you got caught.
Yeah.
How do you not?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Not very well from what I hear. But, we'll actually check back in with this case and let you guys know how it goes on the 17th of October, which is when he actually goes to trial.
It's going to be interesting.
It'll be very interesting, but I did hear a little news article where he was actually interviewed, and he was refusing to plead guilty for the fact that Bitcoin isn't real money. I don't think
that's going to be a solid enough defense for walking into somebody's house with a shotgun.
Yeah, I don't think so, but he's trying to plead guilty in the fact that it wasn't a robbery.
But you had a shotgun. But you know what? I'm not going to sit there and say that this is something that's not going to work for him. The only reason being is because we are the same, somebody can break into your house and intend to harm you, but if they slip on a puddle of water in your kitchen and hurt themselves, they can sue you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the kind of society we're living in. Let's see how that works in Norway.
Yeah, I'm actually genuinely interested to see how it works, just for the fact that, how do you say...
Hi, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel. How's it going, man? It's really good to have you here with us. We're missing you this morning. We always have you here.
You missed a bunch of shenanigans, basically, of
Yeah, we were having some technical difficulties this morning, and
horrifying.
Do check out Crypto Goss page here in a little bit for a picture that we're going to post up of our current rig. Yeah, I think as an engineer, you will genuinely appreciate.
Really?
Yeah, come on, give me some credit here.
It's Daniel. You're right. Actually, I'm going to put it up on. I'm going to take a couple different pictures of it because it is interesting to me.
Hey, just woke up. What are you doing, man? You out partying late last night or something?
You lucky bastard. Okay, so, sorry, I'm just going to take a quick picture of this because it's hilarious to me. It really is.
Hey, we are innovators. We are those that get stuff done.
Get her done!
And we got it done. Hey, you cannot say we did not. We got it done.
It most certainly is.
It's cringeworthy.
I'm trying.
It's there.
Sorry.
So yeah, for those who don't know, we just kind of got everything rearranged and settled in kind of our.
If I can get this light enough,
I want to use flash, so it actually picks it up because it's.
Yeah, well, I'll get some later. But yeah, so we did just.
I'll have to get it later.
We did just kind of reorganize everything in our office here, and ended up somehow misplacing our
rigs and everything.
And so, unfortunately, we do kind of have a lower quality video right now, which we apologize for. And then we also have a few other issues as well, which you'll see later. But anyway, just kind of moving on here. Couple of things to talk about. This is getting to be a little bit of older news at this point, but something that's still very notable to mention is that I believe it's actually today is when they've officially closed the doors for Binance here in the United States. So if you were, it might have been yesterday, but just be advised if you were holding anything on Binance, you are no longer able to trade it if you're coming from a United States IP. They are now also requiring full KYC from everyone globally, which will also, of course, reveal your location as well. And so, make sure that you move your stuff accordingly. We don't really have a good alternative at the moment. I mean, I am very sad to see Binance go, though they have already announced that here in like another month, or maybe even less at this point. I do know they were trying to release it early. Binance US will be opening. We actually covered that in last week's video.
Yes.
And we're still, love to hear from you guys. What do you guys think about, the new Binance exchange, and what do you think about the demanded KYC information? What, where are you also going to go at this point? I mean, what's our audience looking at? Are you guys looking more like wanting to go towards a DEX? For those who don't know, that's a decentralized exchange where there's only, it's all peer-to-peer, or as far as centralized exchanges, what's next best option that you guys are looking at? Love to hear from you guys, and see what's up there. What's your kind of thoughts? I know we were talking about this last week, but what are your thoughts on like the whole centralized exchange with full KYC versus more the DEX style? I mean, that's the whole thing where Binance they so beautifully did it because they were centralized,
right.
But they kind of had that DEX format up until this year.
Yeah. And,
it is sad to see that go.
It is. I mean, I know there's a lot of people. I mean, I was reading a little bit here and there with spare time that I have.
If you have spare time, I'm not working you hard enough.
I go home at 2:30 in the morning sometimes.
Yeah.
And sleep for 3 hours and then go to my other job. How are you not working me hard enough?
Yeah,
it is Sunday, and I was up at 6.
There will be no party hats, Daniel. No party hats for you. The Mindo Maker just said
Grand
exchange.
Selling party hats.
Oh, jeez. Actually, though, on the subject of exchanges, something else I'm actually very curious to hear about is what are people out there trading for right now? We're going to be putting up a poll about this on Twitter as well later, but definitely, we'd love to get your responses here as well. What do you? Yes, this is a message over on Instagram. What? Oh yeah, we can do. Oh, you can do a poll there. Huh?
We can do a poll.
Yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys trade against? I mean, obviously, crypto trading is a little bit different than stock trading, where rather than trading against a stable pairing of, a fiat currency to a stock where you only have one variable, in crypto, you have multiple variables as you have, both parties subject to rapid change. Right. What does our audience like to do? Do you guys trade, Bitcoin to altcoin, Ethereum to altcoin, or do you guys trade, stablecoin to Bitcoin or stablecoin to altcoin? Let us know. I'm very curious to hear about this, especially as if you do trade against stablecoins, what stablecoin do you use? What stablecoin do you trust and why? That's a very, an interesting topic that we're going to be talking about a lot more in the next couple of days is, if you guys are using stablecoins, how do you determine the one that you're going to trust? Is it based in solvency? Is it based in proof of reserve? What criteria is it that you have to determine?
What do you look for? Right. What do you look for in your exchange?
Yeah, exactly. Definitely, let us know. We're always
sorry, that pixelation it trips me out.
Oh, yeah, sorry about
that. No, it's actually very artsy.
Move back to here.
So I'm not distracted.
Yeah, not so much. And actually, we do have another kind of exciting announcement for those that do like to listen to us ramble and talk about blockchain stuff.
We're going to be starting up
Exactly. We are officially announcing we are going to have our podcast, which we are going to be putting out 3 times a week. And we're going to be sharing a link down in the description if you want to go ahead and share that out for us.
have time for 3 times a week?
We'll make it.
Help me.
You'll be fine. So that is the first On the Block podcast. And definitely, go check that out. We are very, very excited to be able to offer that out to you. And we'll be sharing it out shortly. We are going to have, it's all going to be free to listen to. Definitely go over and check it out and listen to us ramble about every topic under the sun.
That's right. Sorry, I'm taking a...
Hold still.
Also, sorry. I'm scrolling through the page.
I'm actually kind of excited. I know.
And we will also be taking a ripped audio version of this live stream we do every Sunday, our Crypto Coffee. Also putting that up there for your browsing pleasure. Let us know over there, if there's any topics you'd like us to cover, any news that you're interested in. We always want to hear from you. So for a moment, going to go ahead and open it up for any questions. I mean, Daniel, surely you got something you want to ask us, right? I mean, you always got some fun stuff. Or anybody else, again, let us know what's new. What are you guys thinking about? What are you guys looking into in the crypto space right now? We have one more announcement that we're going to get to in a second, but what do you got? In the meantime, I'm going to take a bite of this breakfast.
Sitting here getting cold.
I like cold grapes. Tastes good.
You like cold pretty much anything. This guy doesn't eat soup.
Ugh, soup is terrible.
I love soup, and I was talking about soup, and he gets cringy with it.
Soup is awful.
It's not.
No one likes soup.
Oh, Daniel's saying. Oh, sorry. I'm playing on my phone.
But Bitcoin hodl 75% of it, then gamble. Yeah. No, that's a good way to do it. So Daniel's saying there that but Bitcoin hodl 75% of it and then gamble on the various ETH variants with the remaining 25%. Yeah, that's definitely not a bad strategy at all. Curious, what are some of the altcoins that you're working with these days? I mean, there's so many of them. There's a lot of really, really fascinating projects that are coming out.
Right.
Yeah, buy, not but. Yeah.
But is always nice.
Yeah. Let's see here. What else do we have? Give us just a second, guys.
You know who didn't come around this morning? Oh, he probably was busy.
What
Doge.
Oh yeah, where is Doge?
I missed the Doge.
Gotta have our Doge. Doge, come back.
You guys are fun
though. Much wow. Much wow.
Hang on, getting coffee. You're late to the party with that one.
I mean, come on, man. We've been sipping.
We've had two pots now, and
2 pots of coffee,
and both of them have gotten cold. You're running really late.
Yeah, you're running late, man. Okay, so last thing that we have for today, we are, do apologize, we have a little bit of a shorter show today, but kind of our last thing to talk about is update on what we're doing for our loyal fans. Those of you who are so kind to actually put up with us on a daily basis.
And all the wonderful fuckery that we do.
Oh yeah, always. So in addition to our podcast, which is obviously this big, groundbreaking news is going to change the world.
Are we? Yes.
Yes, we are. But in addition to that,
I'm trying to be more confident. He's going to help change the world. I'm just here for the laughs.
Well, yeah. Along for the ride and all the wonderful joy that it is. But yes, so we are extremely pleased to say that we have now found banking partners for the initial sale and launch of the Crown Network and associated tokens. For those who know us well, we have been pulling our hair out. I've been kind of going reverse bald here.
I don't understand any of the paperwork.
It's terrible. We have I counted. There's 179 pages of due diligence. What? Why? Why is that a thing?
We saw that one page that you were like, get started on this and answer what you can. And I was like not even a third of the way through and I was stumped.
To be fair, a third of the way through was still like this long.
That was a lot of questions and sections.
Yeah. You want to read out what Window Maker said?
Does it say KuCoin?
Yeah.
My eyes are getting real blurry. KuCoin, Omize, Go.
Okay, so KuCoin, Omize Go, Standard Eth, Litecoin, and a few other things. Not a bad selection. I mean, especially like I've been really enjoying like Litecoin has been coming out with some great stuff lately. Basically because they sound cool. It's just random speculating.
I was gonna say that. You know what? That's very immature of me because I was very childish. I'm like, ooh, KuCoin. I like KuCoin.
Daniel, I mean, I had
Is
such
that how
faith
we're
in
choosing
you.
things, Daniel?
I have such faith in you, and now now I don't. Monero, always great. Yeah, it's actually.
What made your clap? You know, it's funny. I watched it last night, the second chapter. None of the jump things got me. I giggled through most of it, but your clap just now scared me.
You see the light, dude. Monero's great, and it's really funny. Actually, I believe we talked about this a couple weeks ago, but something that I always just love to cover. And actually, let me go ahead and pull up the numbers so that I can
rattle it off to you.
Yeah, rattle it off to you guys. But it's always just I love it that Monero, considering that it's a coin that really has very limited use case, that it has more hash power than just about anything else on any network. I just find that hilarious.
I'm the only fat ass here that misses. Sorry. Sorry.
That has nothing to do with what we were talking about.
I know, but my grapes are sad. I like.
You see what I have to put up with?
Sorry. I got very distracted. I'm like, there is no cream or butter on this at all.
Oh, jeez.
Where's my goddamn stick of shame?
There's butter in the strawberries.
Oh, okay, well. I can't taste it.
You're like, not enough. Yeah, so, all right, so we just pulled up on whattomine.com. Do me a favor, go ahead and put that in as a link. Whattomine.com, for those who don't know it, it is a fantastic website for being able to check the latest hash power, mining capabilities, and mining equivalents of various cryptocurrencies. It and Coin Wars are probably the two best that I know of, and they've kind of become the standard. And it also has a profitability calculator and things like that for those that are, doing mining. Kudos to those that are. KingRoyal Industries is actually just earlier this year shut down the last of our own mining facilities, which is somewhat sad. As mining was such an amazing thing for the early days of crypto, but it definitely, between the environmental repercussions of it, as well as moving forward and looking to the future, proof of stake mining and proof of authority and all these other concepts that are coming out. Proof of work mining is definitely kind of an antiquated model that is taking the back seat. At least, it depends on who you ask. I know I've probably just pissed off every Bitcoin maximalist worldwide, but that that is the way of things at the moment.
Gotta break a few eggs to make an omelet.
This is true. But I was so inspired by proof of work mining. It's what I really it's what got me originally into blockchain. It was, oh my god, I can through the power of coding and through the power of working on my own machine, generate this decentralized income, which I just thought was absolutely revolutionary. Definitely rip miners, says Window Maker. But that being said, though, it does have all those features in it. And, but over on What to Mine, though, if you look at it, obviously Ethereum, being kind of the standard of things, is currently sitting there with 2.32 billion hash power, which is, pretty significant, pretty amazing. That is the most heavily used system there is, really. But then you look over at Monero, and it is amazing for a system that, is not, when you talk about Ethereum and a lot of its hash power, you're talking about people that by necessity have to have an Ethereum miner running right now to be able to conduct their business, to be able to, run whatever subsystem they are. So, things like Omize Go, KuCoin, Binance, there's some parts of Binance chain are still over on Ethereum, Golem, StoreJ, any of those tokens, all of those are contributing to that hash power. Even the Crown network is contributing to this hash power. But then you look at Monero, a system that's completely independent, has no subsystem built on it, no applications built on it, and it's currently sitting there at 40.9 million hash power. And it's just staggering to me. And it does show what massive support there is for that system. And that's why also, as much as, there's this argument that we are always talking about between centralized and decentralized. Right. The reason why, you can look at it, decentralized is not going anywhere. People's value for their privacy and their economic independence from central control systems is the reason why things like Monero are never going to die. Right. And Monero is also, for those that don't know,
there'll always be a crowd that's going to keep that alive.
Right, exactly. And it's going to have to change over time. Eventually, Monero will fall as everything does. It is a proof of work system, so quantum computing or anything like that is going to be its end. Yes, people do like secrecy, and people also like security. And the thing is that just as we saw with that guy in Norway, right? When you start talking about really big public accounts, they can't stay private very long. That's like all of that money, the $1 billion that moved in to the one account that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and the thing is that was a theoretically anonymous. Every Bitcoin address is. Right. But if anyone works hard enough, it's not that hard to find out information.
Who? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't help when people go and spout off their own business.
Right. Well, and that's true. But, the thing with Monero, though, is that, you will always have to worry to one extent or another about someone finding out who you are from your Bitcoin address, because they can follow that IP back. They can go through all the work to make that happen. With something like Monero, you don't have to worry about that. As long as the Monero blockchain maintains its integrity, you have guaranteed privacy, which is very important, especially to a lot of big bag holders. Right. And, and then, that's also, I know that a lot of people don't, yes, Mendo Maker, we'd love to have you on. 1 second. For those who are watching over on Facebook, we do apologize. Go and check us out on Instagram. Right now, we don't have the ability to go live on multiple segments, but over here on Instagram, we do have Mendo Maker, also known as Daniel, who is loading in right now. How are you doing today, man? Oh, we're always getting more stuff done around here. It's fun. Always a lot of fun. Sleep is boring, man. Who needs sleep? I'll sleep when I'm dead.
My mother says that all the time.
Yeah, I'm
go to sleep right now.
I don't know, man. I'll say this. I'm always way too excited about what we're doing right now to sleep. We've got so much stuff that's right on the edge of being done right now.
I actually take a sleep aid once in a while so I can try to sleep. But I sit there throughout the day with so much information coming in and trying to remember all of it because I have a really hard time with my memory. At night, I find that even with a sleep aid, I'm wide awake, staring off into a corner, thinking about everything.
Yeah, it's stimulating.
It's a little overstimulating for my mind.
Yeah, it's fun. But anyway, though, Daniel, so what do you got for us? You got some questions for us?
Oh, what are you having for breakfast?
What are you having for breakfast? We're over here having some strawberry crepes.
I am having a burrito and a place like
Yeah, I can see myself abusing that horribly.
Well, when I'm at my other job and then I have the brick house across the street.
Oh yeah.
I do have a question though.
Generally,
what in terms of just something most related to like engineering or manufacturing do you see being the hottest thing in crypto currently, or blockchain tech?
Well, there's a few different areas there. I would say supply chain is a massive one, and we're seeing that definitely taking place a lot more overseas. And I know we've talked about this a little bit in the past as well, but supply chain management for any large industry industry, especially something like engineering or construction, is a massive both time expenditure as well as it's a huge cost. And so, I mean, I do see that we're a little bit slower to adopt things like that here in the States, but the automation of supply chain through blockchain is a very, very powerful tool. And then the other thing that I would say is that, and we are seeing this actually take place a lot in some of the Eastern European countries and weirdly enough, African countries, where a lot of things like building permits and things of that nature are all being done through a blockchain-backed system. It's what we're seeing right now that that Dubai is currently in the process of moving their whole system to, that allows for near instantaneous, like verification or denial or upgrading of any of the paperwork side of doing any kind of large-scale construction or engineering project as well.
Okay.
And the other thing that I will say is, go ahead.
You mentioned Africa, which is kind of interesting because Africa is such a usually largely ignored economic area, and yet here they are jumping onto something that's so new. It's kind of interesting.
Right. Well, and that's actually something we've seen a huge amount of, is that a lot of the African countries have actually been very, very much on the cutting edge of blockchain adoption. As one of the things it does, because these are all distributed systems that are global and they have global reach, a lot of these smaller countries that have motivated populaces that are trying to improve their their lot and their lives, but don't have access to the global markets that they need to be able to actually do better for themselves, are very, very motivated to get on blockchain, because suddenly their little local economies are no longer local. They're actually able to take advantage of global commerce without having to leave the limited infrastructure that they have. And so they've actually, there's been a huge blockchain explosion throughout almost the entirety of Africa. And that reaches everything from actual cryptocurrencies, where we've seen them taking and creating a variety of very stablecoin-like systems that are all based in their local currencies, and then on top of something like Ethereum or Neo that allows them to then take advantage of the entirety of the European, American, and Asian economies. Or, we see a lot of it, like I believe it was the country of Georgia was the first one to implement it, where they have their average turnaround time in 2015 to be able to obtain a building permit was about 3 months. They switched over the entirety of the statewide system for housing and development to blockchain 2 years ago, and now they literally have it set up on a drive-through system.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Because it can now, all of that data can be referenced and decided upon so quickly by these systems that the entire thing can literally be conducted in a drive-through.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's something I will say that I find very interesting. This is actually something I'm very excited about, is that a lot of people tend to think that blockchain and cryptocurrency are synonymous, that they are, that they're the same thing. That is very much not the case. And, it's something that a lot of people are kind of confused about. But, it's something where I've actually seen when it comes to things like, you're saying about some of the impacts, engineering or building, we are seeing a lot of systems that are coming out that are blockchain systems that are not tokenized, which is actually a really good thing, because it's that separation of, everything has to have its own token, and just being able to use the technology means that a lot more of these systems can co-interact. And that's what we're seeing, with the prototype smart city that Dubai is trying to build right now, where, it's the entire city is cross-referenced, where every different portion of it, be it, your utilities to, building and permits to the gas you put in your car to everything else, is all managed on a single blockchain system that does have an Ethereum-backed token that's associated with it, but it doesn't have to rely on all these independent, almost city-state style tokens that we've seen in the past. Oh,
There he is. Sure.
Everything kind of glitched out there for a second.
Oh, Sorry to hear that. Yeah, I was just essentially saying that like we are seeing a lot of very exciting movement in blockchain right now, where when it comes to things like supply chain management and city infrastructure management and things of that nature, where we're seeing tokenized systems that aren't reliant upon individual tokens. And that actually allows them to be much more of a coexisting system than kind of the anti-cooperative systems that we've seen in the past.
Okay. I have one more different tack question for you.
Shoot.
So a lot of big financial companies in the world are, when it comes to blockchain, are usually, at least in their public sense, they're against it, or they're very cautious of it. In the case of J.P. Morgan Chase, they'll screw over their account holders if they try. Go ahead. And take away their accounts or limit their access. However, in the background, they're madly investing into these systems at the same time. So my question is, which of the large, most well-known financial companies are the biggest hypocrites in terms of saying, no, blockchain is evil, and then in the shadows just pouring all of their effort into it?
Well, I mean, you already mentioned the biggest hypocrite. That'd be J.P. Morgan, where I loved it. So they did a couple of things here, and I love this to death. They put out a public statement that was signed by, what's his name? Jamie Dimon himself, where it was a public statement to all of their employees stating that any employee that was found to be holding any amount of Bitcoin or another similar resource would be immediately fired. And then they also put out public statements to all of their clientele on the dangers of blockchain, stating why no one should be using it, et cetera, et cetera. They also, Jamie Dimon and JPM, jointly tried to file over 270 patents for Bitcoin. Not blockchain systems, Bitcoin itself. Yeah, and also, this is also when he was coming out with all these statements saying how evil, Bitcoin was, and how it was only used in the drug trade. At the same time, he also actually was buying up as much of it as he could through his niece. He was moving money through his niece to buy millions and millions and millions of dollars in Bitcoin.
And it's reading up or hearing stories like that really make my stomach turn.
Right.
It's how are you? It's hey, focus over here and don't look at what this hand is doing.
Well, and it's also, everybody panic, sell all your stuff to drop the price down so I can buy it.
Everything, right.
And so, yeah, I mean, it's super scummy. I mean, we've seen the same thing happen. I'd say another one of the biggest institutions, though it's not American, would be Chinese First Citizen Bank, I think it's called. I think that's the name of it. Where they actually led the effort with lawmakers in China to actually lead the effort to make blockchain and especially Bitcoin illegal. And to even make blockchain use case systems that were non-tokenized illegal. So even non-financial systems illegal. And now they're actually currently, they are both in the process of building their own blockchain, as well as, weirdly enough, and I really don't get this. This was some of the news that just sickened me this last week. They have partnered with Tether, as in U.S. Tether. The one that is now, it's not even newsworthy every time they fuck people over.
Right.
I mean, apologies for the language to everybody. But seriously, though,
I'm rubbing off on them.
Why on earth would anyone partner with Tether at this point?
Yeah, it's... Sorry.
I don't get it.
You know what? It's funny because nobody's blinking an eye every time they
well, that's
create and destroy.
Right. So I mean, I love it. So they 4 times in the past 2 months have accidentally printed at least another 5 million tokens.
Right.
At this point, it's not even news.
No.
Literally,
that's
it's a footnote in other articles.
Nobody's blinking an eye anymore. It's oh, this is just the norm, and why are we accepting this as a norm?
Right.
This is something that, the system is supposed to help get rid of, is this kind of crap.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely awful. And
keep people, honest.
Yeah.
It's not working out for them, obviously. Well, obviously it is because they're making money off of it.
Right. And, just back to you real quick, Daniel, is that, I'd say that those are the two biggest hypocrites worldwide right now, though there are dozens and dozens of others.
Be aware.
Yeah, I'm gonna go up live because my internet here is crap and it keeps on kind of blowing up on my face.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate the answers.
Good to see your face again, Daniel.
The stream, guys.
Of course, great to have you on with us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. And also, check out our podcast.
All right, we'll do it, and I'll lurk in the comments for the rest of this one.
Sounds good. All right. Fantastic. Well, again, for those who were on Facebook, we just had our guest Daniel on live with us for a minute over on Instagram, asking us some great questions. And if you have any, please drop them in the comments. Or if you catch us after, in the replay of this video, shoot us a DM. We're always happy to answer anything, as well as get on stuff with the next video. So. I know that we are approaching the end of our time here for today. I know, it seems like it went by really fast once we got it going.
Yeah, I know. It's, I was dreading it because I always feel like when there's too many glitches, it's bad juju.
Bad juju, we're fine. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for being here with us. I guess we'll see you guys next time, huh?
Let's keep talking about this stuff, guys.
Yeah, we're always happy to keep talking.
And
please.
Anybody who ever wants to jump in live, please do.
Yeah, we're always willing to have everybody live with us. Raymond, yes, we did talk about this a little bit ago, but we'll recap here. The stablecoin is going great. Software is all ready. We are very excited to announce that we finally found a banking partner. So here within the next week or so, we're going to actually be able to start taking bank transfers as a method of investment in the Sword stablecoin. Sword security token, Crown stablecoin. I know I made the mistake.
Slip.
But so Crown Network is well on its way to becoming in full fruition, and we're very excited to be able to actually launch our mainnet soon. Anybody who's interested in getting in on a testnet demo, please leave us a comment down below. Once we have enough people signed up, we are going to be doing a live demo of our testnet system so everybody can get in there, see what it looks like, and play with all the fun toys that we're making. So, let us know if you want to be a part of that. We are going to be actually putting a sign up.
Are you excited?
Oh, I'm super excited. We're going to be putting a sign up across all of our medias, and it's going to be fun.
Check out our pages for polls.
Yes, we're going to be putting up several polls. We're going to be putting up a couple other Q&As. We're going to have our sign up to be able to get in on that demo that I was just talking about.
Thank you, Ray.
Hey, thank you very much, man. And I'll be giving you a call here later today when we get all this wrapped up. So, all right. Thank you guys so much. We're going to get kicked off here soon if we don't end this video. So,
bye.
As one of my favorite writers likes to say, peace, love, and the perfect margarita.
Margaritas?
Oh, it didn't go too badly. Oh, wait, I should probably close one.